What up? I have to be super quiet. You guys should be like, what's up?
Nikki, show yourself.
It's a practice. Just go.
My name is Erin Dominguez. This is my persuasive speech, and I'll be talking to you about physician-assisted suicide. First, let me tell you a little bit about the Parker family in Massachusetts. Lisa and Jeff's mother passed away in this summer at the age of 63, after suffering through a long battle with brain cancer. She went through many treatments and attempts to cure her, but it became clear that there would be no improvements on her health. She desperately wanted to live, but her illness caused her amounts of pain. By the end of her life, she required 24-hour care. She could barely communicate, she could no longer feed herself, and she forgot how to swallow. Lisa and Jeff made the decision to move their mother into a hospice residence, where she continued to suffer painfully until her body finally gave out. The Parker family, like many other families, had to watch their loved ones suffer through terminal illnesses and wish they had more choices to how to live out their final days. Just like these families, I believe that patients with terminal illnesses deserve to live their final days with dignity. They are able to say their final goodbyes surrounded by family and enjoying their final time with one another instead of wasting away in front of them. According to medicinenet.com, physician-assisted suicide is the voluntary termination of one's own life by administering of a lethal substance that is directed or indirect assistance of a physician. Physicians would provide competent adult patients with terminal illnesses that have 6 months or less to live with prescriptions to use with the intention to ending their own life. There are 3 main reasons why I believe physician-assisted suicide should be available in all states. First, the right to die should be a fundamental freedom of each person. Numerous elements, such as certain cancers, result in slow and agonizing death. Imagine, what would it be like to spend 6 months vomiting, coughing, enduring pain spasms, losing control of excretory functions? Then consider the psychological suffering, knowing that you're going to die and the pain is only going to get worse. According to the Cancer Center, doctors have enough knowledge and experience to know that patients' days are numbered. What purpose would it serve to suffer endlessly until the body finally gave out? Wouldn't it be more humane to give patients the option to say when they've had enough? With the right to die, tremendous pain and suffering of the patients could be saved. This leads me to my next reason why physician-assisted suicide should be legalized. Patients have the right to die with their dignity. Virtually all people want others' last memory of them to be how they once were, not what they were ending up being. For example, Ronald Reagan died of Alzheimer's. He and his family would like people to remember the brave men that stared down the Soviets, or as the great communicator, which provided historic leadership. Other patients and families have the same wishes for themselves. We should let people die with dignity, pride, and self-worth intact. The Death with Dignity Act, passed in Oregon in 1994 and in Washington in 2008, allows patients to have that happen. According to the Oregon Health Authority, the law allows terminally ill adult state residents to end their lives through voluntary self-administration of lethal medications. These medications are prescribed by the physician for that purpose. This is a choice in the end-of-life care, along with hospice and palliative treatments in these states. Thirdly, since physician-assisted suicide has been successful in Oregon and Washington, other states should have the right to pass these laws and taking into account the value and the wishes of the people of that state. There could be strict, reasonable laws that could be crafted which prevent abuse, protect physicians, and the value of human life. For example, the patient must have incurable conditions causing severe and continuous suffering. The patient must understand his condition and his prognosis, and this prognosis needs to be verified by a second opinion. And then also, all reasonable palliative treatments must be presented and considered by the patient. Fourth, the patient must clearly and repeatedly request assistance in dying. And then a psychiatrist consultation must be held. No physician should be expected to violate his or her basic values. A physician who is unwilling to assist a patient should facilitate transfer to another physician who would be prepared to do so. And then all of this should be well documented. Life is the most precious gift of all, and no sane person wants to part with it. But there are some circumstances where life has lost its value. A competent person who has thoughtfully considered their own situation and finds that unrelieved suffering outweighs the value and continued life shouldn't have to starve to death or find drastic and violent solutions when there's more merciful ones that exist. Physician-assisted suicide isn't about physicians becoming killers. It's about patients whose sufferings cannot be relieved. And it's about not turning away from them when they ask for help. There is no risk-free solution to these very sensitive problems. However, I believe that reasonable protections can be put in place that will minimize the risk of abuse and that the humanitarian benefits of legalizing physician-assisted suicide outweigh that risk. Thank you.
Yay!